Hello students, I welcome you for the third session in the chapter 1, that is physical world. As you know that in my previous class I was telling about the physics, technology and society and even some fundamental forces in the nature. And for the today's class I am going to take the approaches for studying the physics. So how to study the phenomena which are related to the physics and how to understand those phenomena. Some phenomena are very simple and some phenomena are very complex. How to understand such physical phenomena which are dealt with physics means generally we have two approaches for studying the physics. One is unification method, another one is reductionism method. ಸೊ ಫಿಸಿಕ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಅಧ್ಯಯನ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಫಿಸಿಕ್ಸಿನ ವಿದ್ಯಮಾನಗಳು ತಿಳ್ಕೋಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಯುನಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಅನ್ನುವಂಥ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಇದೆ, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ರಿಡಕ್ಷನಿಸಮ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಅಂತ ಒಂದಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಯುನಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಯುನಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್? Unification means that is nothing but unity, we can say. So unification means what? Unity. So what is this unity? Unification ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಒಟ್ಟುಗೂಡಿಸೋದು ಅಂತ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ವಿದ್ಯಮಾನಗಳನ್ನ ಒಂದೇ ಒಂದು ಲಾ ಅಥವಾ ಒಂದೇ ನಿಯಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡೋದು, ಅದನ್ನ ಯುನಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. Say for example, what is unification means? I will tell, later on I will give example. Unification means the studying the different natural phenomena by using a same principle or by using a same law, then such method we call as unification. Example, suppose if I take a body revolving around the earth, a satellite revolving around the earth. This is a one. Say next I am going to take the revolution of the earth around the sun. Next I am going to take an object falling towards the earth or a freely falling body towards the earth. So for all these phenomena, including this, so I am studying about motion of a star. So in all these phenomena, I am going to study under the same law of gravity. By applying gravitational principles only, I can able to understand all these different natural phenomena. So this method we call as what? Unification. And what is this reductionism? Say there are some complex phenomena. To understand such complex phenomenon, we need to require some basic concepts. In order to understand such complex phenomenon, we need to understand some basics or we need to understand some terms connected with that complex phenomenon. At the time, what we are going to do, in order to understand such complex phenomenon, we are going to divide that phenomenon into the what? Some intervals, and thereby we are going to study that phenomenon up to the what? Some by making the what? Some parts, and thereby we can understand the what? Whole phenomena. Example, the concept of thermodynamics. When you come across to the PUC first year, that chapter thermodynamics, it is the concept of dealt with the what? Study of heat and conversion of heat energy into a useful work, that is a mechanical energy. While studying this phenomena, you are going to study about one Carnot engine. So at the time you have a complex, it is a one Carnot cycle. You are going to study some cyclic process there. In order to understand whole Carnot engine, we need to study individually all these cyclic processes step by step, and thereby we can able to understand the whole cyclic process. It means any complex phenomena, ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಕಾಂಪ್ಲೆಕ್ಸ್ ಇರುವಂತಹ ವಿದ್ಯಮಾನ, ಬಹಳ ಸಂಯುಕ್ತವಾಗಿರುವಂತಹ ವಿದ್ಯಮಾನ ಇತ್ತು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಅಂಥದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಹೆಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ರಿಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡಿ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ರಿಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಸ್ಪ್ಲಿಟಿಂಗ್. ಸೊ ಯುನಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ combining all the phenomena under the same law or under the same principle. Is it clear? So these are the two methods for studying the physics, or two approaches for studying the physics. And next we have, after this concept, the nature of physical laws. Nature of physical laws, or else we can say what are conserved quantity and what are conservation laws in general. Nature of physical laws. Nature of physical laws. Yes. So nature of physical laws. What we are going to study under this topic, nature of physical laws? See, any phenomena which is governed by different factors or different forces or different quantities, ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ವಿದ್ಯಮಾನ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಕ್ವಾಂಟಿಟಿಗಳ ಮೇಲೆ ನಡೀತಿರಬಹುದು, ಅಥವಾ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಫೋರ್ಸಸ್ಗಳಿಂದ ನಡೀತಿರಬಹುದು, ಅಥವಾ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಆಗಿರುವಂತಹ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ಗಳಿಂದ ನಡೀತಿರಬಹುದು. Say, if you take any phenomena, it is governed by some forces. If it is governed by some factors, or if it is governed by certain physical quantities, then what we are going to say, all the factors which are affecting that phenomena, they are changing with the time. ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರ್ಗಳಿಂದ ಒಂದು ವಿದ್ಯಮಾನ ನಡೀತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಆ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರ್ಗಳು ಏನಾಗ್ತಿರ್ತವೆ, ಆ ವಿದ್ಯಮಾನ ನಡಿಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತಾವೆ. ಸೊ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಚೇಂಜಿಂಗ್ ವಿತ್ ದ ಟೈಮ್. ಬಟ್ ಸಮ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಫಿಸಿಕಲ್ ಕ್ವಾಂಟಿಟೀಸ್ ದೇ ಡು ನಾಟ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ವಿತ್ ದಿ ಟೈಮ್. ಬಟ್ ಆದ್ರೆ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಫಿಸಿಕಲ್ ಕ್ವಾಂಟಿಟೀಸ್ ಏನಿದಾವೆ ಅವು ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ, ಅವು ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿನೇ ಉಳಿತವೆ. ಸೊ ಅಂಥ ಕ್ವಾಂಟಿಟೀಸ್ ಈಗ ನಾವು ಏನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಕನ್ಸರ್ವ್ಡ್ ಕ್ವಾಂಟಿಟೀಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. Such quantities we call as conserved quantities. What are conserved quantities? A physical quantities which remain unchanged. Physical quantities which remain unchanged. Unchanged in a physical phenomena, in any physical phenomena, which remain unchanged in any physical phenomena are called conserved quantities. And the laws, whatever the law which govern these conserved quantities, ಯಾವ ನಿಯಮಗಳು ಈ ಕನ್ಸರ್ವ್ಡ್ ಕ್ವಾಂಟಿಟೀಸ್ ಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತವೆಯೋ ಅಂಥ ನಿಯಮಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವೇನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ, ಕನ್ಸರ್ವೇಷನ್ ಲಾಸ್. ದಿ ಲಾ ವಿಚ್ ಗವರ್ನ್ ದೀಸ್ ಕನ್ಸರ್ವ್ಡ್ ಕ್ವಾಂಟಿಟೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ conservation laws. The laws which govern the conservation of physical quantity, the law which governs for the conservation of physical quantity, such laws are called as conservation laws. And what is conservation of a quantity in any various phenomena? It depends on some several factors. It depends on some forces. It depends upon some quantities. Quantities antandre maybe it depends on mass, it may depends on length, it may depend on velocity. Basically, it changes with the time. These quantities during the phenomena, they may change with the time. But in some of the phenomena, what happens? Physical quantities do not change. They remain same. So such physical quantities which are not changing, though the phenomena is subjected for different physical conditions. So such phenomenon or such quantities, not phenomena, such quantities are called conserved quantity. We call such quantities are what? Conserved physical quantities. And the law which supports the conservation of physical quantities are nothing but conservation laws. Remember, conservation laws are nothing but the what? The much stronger than any other laws. Compared to any other laws, ನೀವು ಯಾವುದೇ ನಿಯಮಗಳಿಗೆ ಕಂಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಕನ್ಸರ್ವೇಷನ್ ಲಾಸ್ ಏನಿದಾವಲ್ಲ ಅವು ಬಹಳ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಂಗ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತವೆ. ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ they are connected with the symmetrical aspects of the nature. They are dealt with the symmetrical nature of this universe. One example I would like to give you. So in case of law of conservation of energy, so what happens? The energy is converting from one form to another form, but the total energy of the system remains same, or it remains constant. And even if you take concept of Einstein's mass energy relation, according to that relation, mass is also another form of energy. It means mass can also convert it into energy, and energy can also be converted into mass. So here also law of conservation of energy is there, and it is a symmetry. Mass can be converted as energy, and energy can be converted as mass. It is nothing but a symmetry. So here conservation laws are dealt with the what? Symmetrical aspect of this nature. So that is the reason they are the strongest laws in the nature. So examples of conservation laws in physics we came across in several branches, as particularly if you take mechanics, and as particularly Newtonian mechanics. In case of conservation of linear momentum, you know that for an isolated system of interacting bodies, the total linear momentum after the collision is equal to the what? The total linear momentum before the collision. Is it right or no? For isolated system, we are observing that conservation of momentum. So this is one example for conservation of conservation laws or conservation of a physical quantity, momentum. Momentum is conserving there. So conserved quantity is momentum. And conservation law is nothing but law of conservation of linear momentum for an isolated system of interacting bodies. This is the one example. And the second example for conservation law is law of conservation of energy. Law of conservation of energy. And the third one is law of conservation of angular momentum in case of rotating body. In case of rotating body means rotation of the earth around its own axis. Rotation of the earth around its own axis. So any body which is rotating with an axis of rotation, so under that condition, if there is no external force on a body, then we say that it is conserved. Example, our earth, conservation of angular momentum, because it is rotating around its own axis. So therefore, conservation of angular momentum in the absence of external force or external torque on a body. Next, conservation of charge, conservation of mass. Conservation of charge as well as conservation of mass are the example for what? Conservation laws. So apart from this, so we can also have some other, that is a conservation of laws. So conservation of energy. So you can also have conservation of mass, conservation of linear momentum. So like that we can also have several examples. I told you these examples, okay? But apart from this, you are going to study conservation of mass also. Yes or no? So detailed study I have not explained here. Just I mentioned what are conservation laws and what examples I can able to give for conservation laws, and why we say them as conservation laws, what is their importance. So this is the concept here, that is nature of physical laws. See, overall in this chapter, a very simple chapter I told you, it carries 2 marks. Don't go through the according to the importance of marks. I told you, don't give importance for the marks. Read all the 15 chapters. Try to understand the concepts of all the 15 chapter and try to learn for the purpose of acquiring the knowledge, not for the sake of marks. Don't think that it is 2 marks, we have to neglect. Not like that. It's giving some introduction. At least it gave some introduction. What is physics? What are the branches of physics? Okay, so what we call physics before 19th century, that is a classical physics. Classical physics is connected with optics, study of Newtonian mechanics, study of gravitation, study of heat and thermodynamics. Is it clear? So study of sounds, so study of electricity and magnetism, like that. And what is the physics we call after the development, after the 19th century and at present, that is modern physics. And that modern physics connected with the what? The study of atoms, structure of atoms, study of nuclear phenomena, study of structure of nucleus, and even nanotechnology, lasers, optical fibers. Is it right? So and even many more phenomena related to the nucleus. So like that, so many concepts we are going to study in case of modern physics, and whatever the present day physics which has been developing, we call it as modern physics after the 19th century onwards. So this 21st century, we are going to call the physics, whatever developments are happening till today, it is comes under modern physics only. So still many more branches are there for your class as per the syllabus, as per the NCERT norms. What is the required thing is there, only up to that level I had explained you. If you want a still more information, you can go through the textbook and you can take the information, or if you find any difficulties or if you felt any kind of doubts, you can come to the college and you can ask those doubts, and we are going to clarify your difficulties. And remember, overall, one quick roundup, we shall see what we discussed. We come with a definition of science. What is science? Science is the Latin word, and which comes from the Latin word that is scientia. Its meaning is to know. And next, what is the methodology to know or to study the science? So one person has to want to study or to acquire the knowledge of science, he has to approach studying the different phenomena under some particular method. We call that method as scientific method. And what is scientific method? I told you, after scientific method, branches of this science: physical science and biological science, physical science, physics and chemistry, and biological science, biology, botany and zoology. And even next, I told you about what you mean by physics and what is the definition for physics, and next, scope and excitement of physics, and next, physics, society and technology. And even I told you about some nature of physical laws, and then I explained about approaches for studying the physics. So like this. And apart from this, in your NCERT textbook, or if you take any textbook of PUC first year, they given some list of ಇನ್ವೆನ್ಷನ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಇನ್ವೆನ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ನೀವು ಬುಕ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿದರೆ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಸೈಂಟಿಸ್ಟ್ಗಳ ಇನ್ವೆನ್ಷನ್ ಅನ್ನು ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಆ ಇನ್ವೆನ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ನೀವು ತಪ್ಪದೇ ಓದಲೇಬೇಕು. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ನಲ್ಲಿ 1 ಮಾರ್ಕಿಗೆ ಯಾವುದಾದ್ರೂ ಒಂದು ಇನ್ವೆನ್ಷನ್ ಅನ್ನು ಕೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ಹೆಂಗೆ ಕೇಳ್ಬೋದು? ಹೂ ಡಿಸ್ಕವರ್ಡ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್? JJ ಥಾಮ್ಸನ್. ಹೂ ಡಿಸ್ಕವರ್ಡ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಬಲ್ಬ್? ಥಾಮಸ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ ಎಡಿಸನ್. Who is the founder of basic laws of electricity and basic laws of electricity? That is Benjamin Franklin. Who is the founder of this electromagnetic waves? Who is the person developed theory of electromagnetic waves? Is Maxwell. Who is the person responsible for the practical verification or practical generation of electromagnetic waves? Heinrich Hertz. So like this, X-rays by William Röntgen. Is it clear? So like this, they have given list. So that list, you try to go through that. Some few I highlighted in this class. And who discovered the neutron? William Chadwick. So like that, there are some inventions they have given in that. Just you go through that inventions. I hope that you all are understood this chapter in a simple manner. I told you. So if you find any difficulty, you go through this video once again and you try to watch all the 3 classes of me and try to remember what are the concepts I told you. And examination point, what is the importance of this chapter? For the examination, what is the way of asking question? So for examination point of view, the question they are going to ask, either the meaning of physics, either the meaning of science, either they will ask the questions on fundamental forces or conservation quantities or conservation laws, and even they may ask any one discovery. Is it clear? Just you can go through that, and I hope that you all will be going to do it, and you can all of you are going to get it the information. So I hope with this I conclude my this physical world chapter, and we shall meet with the next session with a new chapter with a new video. Is it clear? So fine, and thank you.